I do believe that I am in the last 100 pages of the Mote in God's Eye. This has been pretty fun. I've never read a first contact story, so I wasn't really sure what I was expecting. I really wanted space battles, lots of space battles, and more space battles. I didn't get any space battles. I thought there was gonna be pirates. I didn't get any pirates. Oh, it really is just the first contact story. Oh, 3.5. I thought it was good. Maybe 3.3. If it had more space battles, I would give it a 4. I know, isn't that silly? Space battles. I mean, come on, it's a space opera. They said it's space opera. What's a space opera? I don't know what a space opera is anymore. So any story told in space is a space opera? Is that what it is? Because I'm annoyed. I thought space opera was an epic in space. I thought it was going to be Lord of the Rings in space. Star Wars in space. You know what I mean? World War III in space. But no. I'm not spoiling it, but yeah, it's just a first contact story. The first half is actually 4.5 out of 5. The first half, but the second half, they're right. It's good. It's still good. It's just they're obviously slowing it down now, and they build up like, I don't know. They try to make you nervous again, but it doesn't work. I don't know. It's all right. It's a 3.5. Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5. If it was a tier ranking, I would put it S. No. Probably a B. Yeah. All right. Civilian, chapter 48. I'm only going to be live for like 10 minutes. Maybe 9. They were rushed aboard a landing craft the instant Hermes made orbit around New Scotland. Sally barely had time to say her farewells to the sloop's crew. Then they were strapped in. Spoilers ahead. Page 449. Yes, sir. Sally and... Oh, it's true. This is one of the worst romances I've ever read. That is true. And I feel like it's because of the times. To be honest, I don't really know what marriage was like in the 1970s. But I guess it's kind of lame. But let's continue. Yes, it's true. All right, I won't say it. If you know, you know. But we will be reading page 449. Literally last 100 pages right now. I think I might be able to finish it at work, but I think I could get through like 20 pages at work. I only have 2 hours left. Sally barely had time to say her farewells to the sloop's crew, then they were strapped in. Visitors, clear landing boat. Passengers secure for re-entry. There were clunks as the air locks were closed. Ready, sir? The pilot called. Yeah. The retros fired. It wasn't a smooth re-entry at all. The pilot was in too much of a hurry. They dropped low over New Scotland's craggy rocks and sprouting geysers. When they arrived at the city, they still had too much speed and the pilot had to circle twice. Then the boat came in slowly, hovered, and settled on the roof landing port of Admiralty House. I thought they were gonna crash, explode right now, to be honest. And then I was like, oh, maybe the book's 4 out of 5. They just killed the main character. That's Uncle Ben, Sally shouted. She rushed forward to fling herself into his arms. Benjamin Bright Fowler was 80 standard years old and looked it. Before regeneration therapy, men would have guessed he was 50 and in his prime intellectual years. They would have been right about the latter guess. He stood 174 centimeters and massed 90 kilos, a portly, short man, nearly bald, with a fringe of dark hair graying around a shiny dome. He never wore a hat except in the coldest weather and usually forgot it then. Senator Fowler was dressed outlandishly in baggy trousers flaring over soft, polished leather boots. A knee-length and very battered camel's hair coat covered his upper body. His clothes were very expensive and never properly cared for. His dreamy eyes that tended to water and his rumpled appearance did not make him an impressive figure, and his political enemies had more than once made the mistake of taking his looks on as a sign of his abilities. Sometimes, when the occasion was important enough, he let his valet choose his clothes and dress him properly, and then, for a few hours at least, he looked appropriate. He was, after all, one of the most powerful men in the empire. Usually, though, he put on the first thing he found in his wardrobe, and since he would never let his servants throw out anything he once liked, he often wore old clothes. He grasped Sally in a bear hug while she kissed his forehead. Sally was taller than her uncle and was tempted to plant a kiss on the top of his head, but she knew better. Benjamin Fowler neglected his appearance and became angry if anyone reminded him of that. But actually, he was a little sensitive about his baldness. He also absolutely refused to allow cosmetic physicians to do anything for it. Uncle Ben, I'm glad to see you. Sally pushed herself away before he crushed a rib. Then, with mock anger, you've been rearranging my life. Did you know that radiogram would make Rod propose to me? Senator Fowler looked puzzled. You mean he hadn't already? He pretended to examine Rod with microscopic care. He looks normal enough. Must be internal damage. How are you, Rod? You look good, boy. He unfolded Rod's hand in his own. His grip was strong enough to hurt. With his left hand, Fowler extracted his pocket computer from beneath the disreputable folds of his thick coat. Sorry to rush, kids, but we're late. Come on. He turned and darted for the elevator, leaving them to follow helplessly. They went down 12 floors, and Fowler led them around twists of corridors. Marines stood guard outside a door. Inside, the senator urged. Can't keep all those admirals and captains waiting. Come on, Rod. The Marine saluted, and Rod absently responded. He entered in bewilderment. A large room, paneled in dark wood, with an enormous marble table across its length. 5 captains and 2 admirals were seated at the table. A legal officer sat at a smaller desk, and there were places for a recorder and clerks. As soon as Rod entered, someone intoned, "This court of inquiry is now in session. Step forward and be sworn. State your name." Your name, Captain," the admiral at the center of the table snapped. Rod didn't recognize him. He knew only half the officers in the room. "You do know your name, don't you?" "Yes, sir." "Admiral, I wasn't told I was coming directly to a court of inquiry." "You know it now. Please state your name." "Roderick Harold Lord Blaine, Captain Imperial Space Navies, formerly master aboard INS MacArthur." "Thank you." They shot questions at him. "Captain, when did you first learn that the miniature aliens were capable of using tools and performing useful work?" "Captain, please describe the sterilization procedures you employed." "Captain, in your judgment, did the aliens outside the ship ever know you had miniatures loose aboard your vessel?" He answered as best as he could. Sometimes one officer would ask him a question only to have another say, "That's in the report, damn it. Don't you listen to the tapes?" The inquiry moved at blinding speed. Suddenly it was over. "You may retire for the moment, Captain," the preceding admiral said. Sally and Senator Fowler were waiting in the hall. There was a young woman in kilts with a businesslike briefcase standing with them. "Miss McPherson, my new Social Security secretary," Sally introduced her. "Very pleased to meet you, my lord. My lady, I had best be..." "Certainly, thank you." McPherson left with a click of heels on marble floors. She had a nice walk. "Rod," Sally said. "Rod, do you know how many parties we've got to go to?" "Parties? My God, woman, they're deciding my fate in there and you..." "Nonsense," Senator Fowler snapped. "That was decided weeks ago. When Merrill, Cranston, Armstrong, and I listened to Kutuzov's report, there I was, your appointment, from His Majesty in my pocket, and you'd gone and lost your ship. It's a good thing your admiral's an honest boy. Damn good thing." The door opened. "Captain Blade," a clerk called. He entered to stand in front of the table. The admiral held up a paper and cleared his throat. "Unanimous findings of a special court of inquiry convened to examine the circumstances surrounding the loss of His Imperial Majesty's General Class Battlecruiser MacArthur. 1. This court finds that the vessel was lost through accidental infestation by alien life forms and was properly destroyed to prevent contamination of other vessels. 2. This court honorably acquits her master, Captain Roderick Blaine, ISN, of negligence. Oh, acquit? What does that mean? Like charged? 3. This court orders the surviving officers of MacArthur to prepare a detailed report of procedures whereby such losses can be prevented in future. 4. This court notes that the search and sterilization of MacArthur was hindered by the presence of a large number of civilian scientists and their equipment, property aboard, and that Minister Anthony Horvath, senior scientist, protested the sterilization and advised minimal disruption of the civilian experiments. 5. The court notes that Captain Blaine would have more diligent in searching his vessel except for the difficulties noted in point 4, and this court recommends no reprimand for her master. These findings being unanimous, this court is adjourned. Captain, you may go. Thank you, sir. Alright, we're gonna stop it there. It seems like he got off. Thanks for joining the short live. I'll have to go back to work. Who knows how many more pages I'll be in. It's not so boring that I can't read it, but it's not like the space book I wanted to read, to be honest. I thought it was going to be the space book I wanted, but it's not. So, it's an unfortunate circumstance. I'm late. I'm late every day. Why should I care? Why should I care?